Hello all, we are here for one more lesson of this VariCAD 2016 training course, and the topic for this lesson it's about surface development. So I've opened one of the sample files from VariCAD installation, and this file in particular simulates a sheet metal part, which is one of the typical parts we can use to make this command. The system VariCAD does not make this kind of parts with a function from like a flat surface and bending or making these shapes, but we can create these parts with the normal VariCAD functions, and you can reach this type of result. So basically, to use the surface development, we can come to this objects menu, and then we have this command here, this entry, surface development. We get a dialog box, and inside this dialog box we can choose a couple of options to define the way how this command is done. So we can create a leader at each unbent point, an axis at center of the coordinates, and write it down to a text file. And besides, we can make or define a distance when we don't have unbent points, which is the minimum distance to create points. We have a table also with bending coefficients, which we can see, change or delete or whatever, and these are the mathematical conditions to work with the calculations to make the development on the 2D. There are a couple of mathematical expressions to make these calculations, and if you want to know a little more about these calculations, please contact us, as we say always, through our usual channels, and we can send you some more detailed information about it. For this video in particular, I will not explain these concepts. So let us try to make this development without choosing anything first. Okay, and now we can choose totally or partially the surfaces we want to develop in 2D. I will make a complete choice of all the part, so I can use this option here, entire solid from sheet metal, and it recognizes the complete solid. Then OK, and I get one additional question, which is what is the thickness, the value, and if it is significant or not, because this value influences the development on the 2D because of the radius. I will leave this 0.3 now and put it on the 2D side, and you see this is the complete solid flattened. Okay, and if we do this again, and now just changing the thickness that it's recognized, instead of 0.3, let us use, for example, 1. I will put it on the exact same spot, and you see the part is slightly different, a little bigger. Okay, so the thickness, it is important for the calculations. Now for the options we can have these create leaders at unbent point. Let us see this function. I will choose now only a couple of surfaces. Okay, it doesn't matter now. And you see now at each unbent point I'm being asked to place this flag to identify. Okay, and go on. I will finish this. Or I can do this instead of creating the leaders, I can write down to a text file. Okay, and I need to define a file name, and I can call it, for example, points. Save it and choose everything. Okay, no problem. I can put it here, and I need to define a origin of the coordinates. Okay, for example, here. And if we go now to the text file, it is here. You see the points are all here, X and Y. Okay, very easy. And those points are the same that you started to see with these flags around this small part. In this particular case, were to the complete part. Besides this option, we have also the possibility to create a center of coordinates, and we can write down again, I will not use it now. We can create a center of coordinates, the same option here, and now you can put the coordinates around here. Okay, so it's a different possibility also to make this flatten. Let us use now a different kind of part. Okay, this is to show you a couple of examples. Now we have the other possibility. With, instead of having a sheet metal solid, I have a very normal solid from VariCAD. Okay, with volume. And for example, I want to make the same command to this surface here. So not too difficult, just do the same thing. I will leave these options out. Only will choose the surface, and I can say thickness, it is important or not. I'll say it's not important, and say this is the outer surface. Okay, so what happens, it is something like this. So this is not a very powerful sheet metal command, because the limits are having the solids and just flatten them. We cannot do the opposite for the current version of VariCAD. But regarding what it does to flatten the solids and the complete surfaces, it's very interesting and give us some possibilities, some interesting possibilities, and it's very accurate, which you can confirm if you make some calculations and some tests with some unbent shapes. So these were the options to show you about this topic. I will repeat myself saying, if you need some more informations about how to calculate and what is the procedure and the formulas to use working with these type of functions, contact us, and we have some more detailed information to explain about your questions or about your problems in your professional or academic life.